Sheila's deeply displeased to learn she's not on the guest list for Hope's wedding. At Forrester, Brooke and Ridge discuss Hope and Liam's upcoming wedding, but the situation with Eric is still weighing on him. They recap Ridge's reasons for wanting Eric to retire, and Brooke asks if he regrets his actions. Ridge grunts that he was trying to do the right thing. Is he sorry about it? He's not sure. Ridge did it because he wanted his dad to be okay, but maybe that should have been his decision. He recalls that they nearly lost Eric, and he thinks about that every day. The workload is relentless. Brooke points out that that's what her ex-husband is all about. Ridge hopes someone loves him enough to help him leave when the time comes. Eric's regret. At the Forrester mansion, Donna tries to play up the flattering articles about Eric's career, but he's still disgruntled given that it's over. He wonders if Ridge was right and his time is up. After the party, he admits that his feelings took over. Eric's sorry for some of the things he said to Ridge. Donna tries to convince Eric that Ridge should see his designs and that he is just as talented as ever. Eric's sure his son isn't interested, he's just worried about his health. Donna suggests they spend some more time together. They flirt and canoodle, and Eric admits traveling with his wife sounds good. Maybe Ridge is just looking out for him. What Beth wants. At Brooke's place, Hope and Liam talk about Eric's retirement. Liam adds that it's an exciting new chapter for everyone, and she shrugs off the fact that it's time to pass the torch. They'll kick it off with their wedding tomorrow. They're sure, between Brooke and Beth, it will be a unique and memorable ceremony. They go over Beth not being comfortable around Sheila. Hope wants her to know she can express her feelings, and they'll listen. She just doesn't want to get into it with her dad again given he thinks she's changed. Liam notes she almost sacrificed her life to save Steffi's. Hope knows, and they're all grateful, but this is what Beth wants, and they need to respect it. Beth appears and announces she's all ready to marry them tomorrow. Breaking bad news. He and Sheila at Deacon's think Eric's retirement is kind of sad. She muses that she married the Forrester in the past, but the man sitting next to her is the only one for her now. Talk turns to his daughter's wedding and what Sheila will wear. She's excited and can't wait to be on his arm. Sheila keeps going on about the wedding being a perfect way to put everything behind them. It will be their first Sharp family event. She plans to show them all how strong and happy they are together. Deacon sighs the spotlight should be on Liam and Hope. They're calling the shots tomorrow. Sheila senses he's in a mood. Deacon regrets to inform her that she will not be attending the wedding because he does not want to upset her. Sheila starts ranting, but Deacon reminds her it's not his decision. Liam, Hope and Beth made the guest list, and her name is not on it. The final scenes. At the Forrester mansion, Eric turns the conversation to Hope's wedding. Donna is extremely happy for her and Liam. Eric is too. They laugh as Beth performs the honors. Eric reminds Donna he doesn't feel like going. She is aware that dealing with the media and the paparazzi has been a lot, but he will be missed. Donna looks worried as they embrace. Eric embrace B&B. When it comes to Eric, Brooke tells Ridge that he did the right thing at Forrester. It's obvious how much he loves his father. She's sure Eric will keep busy doing panels and conferences. It's Ridge's turn to make his mark in couture now. Ridge grins and thanks her for supporting him. He can't forget his dad walking out of there with the stapler. Now, he doesn't know if he made the right choice. Sheila cannot comprehend why she was not invited to the wedding of Deacon's daughter. They're married. Deacon assures his wife he tried to talk to Hope about it. Sheila wants his children to know they are together. Deacon regrets it, but he must follow his daughter's wishes. At Brooke's place, Liam and Hope gush about the effort Beth has put into their wedding. She'll make an amazing officiant. Beth crows about them becoming a family again. Liam says they always have been and always will be. Hope assures her she's a miracle, and tomorrow she'll help another miracle come true. Their remarriage. Our wedding, Beth exclaims. The bold and the beautiful recap for Tuesday, December 9th, reveals that Sheila Sharp flipped over getting no wedding invite, but Deacon Sharp respected Hope Logan's choice. At Forrester Creations, Brooke Logan Forrester wondered if Ridge Forrester regretted forcing Eric Forrester to retire. Ridge acknowledged that it was complicated since he wanted what was best for his dad's health, but considered whether it should have been Eric's decision to make. Ridge also hoped that when his own retirement rolled around, he'd have someone to help him see it was time to go. Brooke played this up as Ridge's opportunity to shine solo in the couture spotlight. Nevertheless, Ridge was uncertain about whether he made the right call regarding Eric. At the Forrester mansion, Eric grumbled to Donna Logan Forrester about the end of his career, but he wondered if Ridge was right and seemed apologetic over how heated things got. Donna tried to convince Eric to show Ridge some of his new designs, but Eric shut down the idea and mulled over travel plans with his wife. Eric didn't feel like going to Liam Spencer and Hope Logan's wedding, so the conversation moved on to that. With Eric, Donna attempted to remain optimistic, but she appeared concerned about his gloomy state. Next on Tuesday's BNB episode, Hope and Liam spoke about Eric's retirement before talk turned to their imminent wedding. Since Sheila made Beth Spencer uncomfortable, Liam and Hope were in agreement about not having Deacon's wife at the ceremony. Beth popped up to discuss her officiant duties and looked forward to the celebration ahead with Hope and Liam. At home, Sheila gushed to Deacon about her wedding excitement and considered what she should wear when she joined him for the nuptials. Although Sheila was eager to make a bold statement about their strong union, Deacon finally had to break the news that she wasn't invited to the wedding. Once Sheila got over the shock, she bickered with Deacon since she felt she belonged there. Deacon made it clear that it was up to Liam and Hope, who left Sheila off the guest list. Sheila kept trying to convince Deacon they should go as a couple, but he had to respect Hope's wishes on this. According to the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Sheila's lack of an invitation will cause her to break down, so we'll keep you updated on any wild developments. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers are in for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Hope Logan and Liam Spencer's wedding to begin. In the meantime, Taylor Hayes and Sheila Carter Sharp are in a heated situation. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Lope's wedding day. Let's start off with Hope and Liam. It will be their wedding day. The couple mentioned that the paparazzi shouldn't be a problem, as security has been hired. However, it might not be the paparazzi that will be the big problem. In any case, Hope and Liam will want to make sure everything is perfect. There are other things that the adults need to do while their little girl is officiating. Beth Spencer's excitement. Beth Spencer will be so excited to marry her parents. The youngster has spent a lot of time and effort ensuring that she does this perfectly. Beth even suggested some interesting food ideas. Beth also wanted to be sure that Sheila wouldn't be coming to the wedding. Hope and Liam concurred, and Deacon Sharp has been informed. Deacon just got done telling Sheila that she's not invited to the wedding. Sheila is heartbroken and really wanted Hope and Deke Sharp to accept her. That hasn't happened, though. Douglas Forrester returns. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the next episode reveal that Douglas Forrester returns for the wedding. The young man will attend and look so handsome in a gray suit. Brooke Logan Forrester is smiling as the boy stands. Sheila Carter Sharp versus Taylor Hayes. Speaking of the wedding, Sheila is heartbroken about being banned. However, that heartbreak will soon turn to anger. Sheila has done everything in her power to prove she's changed. Despite being Deacon's wife, she still was told not to attend. However, we know from a weekly preview clip that Sheila pays a visit to Taylor. The waitress threatens to crash Hope and Liam's wedding. Taylor tries to dissuade the woman, but then she makes the mistake of using the word crazy. If Sheila follows through with her plan, Deacon will never forgive her. It will also just make her enemies say, "I told you so." At the same time, I'm really worried about how Sheila looks at Taylor in the preview clip, so stay tuned. The Bold and the Beautiful has a sweet December wedding lined up for fans this month on the CBS soap. Spoilers say Liam Spencer and Hope Logan will be heading to the altar to say "I do," with their daughter Beth officiating. Lope's close friends and family will gather for their nuptials. Although the wedding may go off without a hitch, B&B spoilers suggest that the honeymoon may not go as smoothly as expected. Will Hope Logan's honeymoon be sidelined by pregnancy symptoms? The CBS soap's upcoming episodes are listed below, along with B&B spoilers. Liam and Hope say "I do." Hope Logan and Liam Spencer's daughter Beth handled all of the wedding arrangements for the couple, down to the handpicked guest list at the "I do's." Luckily, the remarried couple will be able to spend their honeymoon together and kid-free. But Bold and the Beautiful rumors hint that things could go south in the bedroom if Hope starts experiencing early pregnancy symptoms. Nobody in the history of the Bold and the Beautiful has taken a pregnancy test as fast as Luna Nozawa. On soaps, if a woman is pregnant, she usually starts having symptoms the following month and has a positive pregnancy test a few weeks later. There's a very real possibility that Hope Logan is pregnant with Carter Walton's child, but she does not yet know. Hope Logan swap relationships fast. When Hope and Carter split, she rushed back to Liam and said yes in record time. Soap timelines are tricky, but if Hope Logan is pregnant with Carter's baby, then she should start experiencing early pregnancy symptoms any day now. Will she discover that she is experiencing morning sickness, or that she has missed her period once she and Liam have become happily married and are on their honeymoon? Do you think Hope could be pregnant? When he finds out that she is having a child with another man, will Liam feel bad about marrying her? Spoilers have been released for Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, of The Bold and the Beautiful. Hope Logan and Liam Spencer discuss their upcoming wedding in tomorrow's episode. Deacon Sharp tells Sheila Carter Sharp that she's banned from the ceremony. Additionally, Ridge Forrester is questioned by Brooke Logan Forrester. Let's talk about what's coming up in the CBS soap opera after you finish reading. Talk about Hope Logan's wedding. Let's start with Hope and Liam. The two are busy preparing for their wedding, which will take place this week. Beth Spencer, who will officiate, has some very interesting suggestions for food. Additionally, Beth has requested that her parents prevent Sheila from attending the wedding. Hope and Liam will discuss the upcoming wedding. They will want to be sure that they have everything squared away before the big day. There will also likely be talk about Deacon and Sheila. The discoveries of Liam Spencer while they talk about the wedding, the topic will eventually turn to work. Liam will find out that Ridge planned a surprise retirement party for Eric Forrester. They might understand that Ridge and Steffi Forrester Finnegan love Eric. At the same time, it was this time last year that Eric got obsessed with finishing a collection. Then he ended up dying and being brought back. So I can understand both sides. The question of Brooke Logan, according to The Bold and the Beautiful episode spoilers for tomorrow, Brooke will question Ridge. Brooke and Ridge will have learned about Eric's stunning designs by this time, which are all over the showroom floor. Of course, Ridge and Steffi will feel awful. In fact, Steffi already regrets this party after finding these designs. Will Ridge feel the same way, though? Sheila Carter shaped band. There is also Deacon and Sheila. The man needs to inform his wife that she is not invited to Hope and Liam's wedding. This will be shocking news to Sheila, who has tried to be supportive of Deacon's children. This includes Hope as well as Deke Sharp. At the same time, Sheila needs to understand that some mistakes can't be forgotten or forgiven. Sometimes you have to accept that you hurt people too much. Deacon Sharp's walk. Deacon, on the other hand, is getting ready to first time walk his daughter down the aisle. Deacon is invited to attend Hope and Liam's wedding for the first time, despite the fact that it is not Hope's first. Which storyline is the most exciting for you to see? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Sheila, the ever-calculating and unpredictable matriarch, paced her lavish apartment with the sort of intensity that only comes from discovering a personal slight that cuts deep, one that rattles the fragile equilibrium of her meticulously curated world. For in that moment she could not believe, could not even begin to accept, that Hope's wedding, an event the likes of which would be talked about for weeks within the glittering circles of Los Angeles society, had been planned without a single thought of her presence, without a single whispered invitation that bore her name, and the sting of exclusion burned more fiercely than any cold shoulder ever could, leaving her in a tumultuous mix of disbelief, indignation, and the unmistakable itch of revenge that had always driven her through the most precarious of social manipulations, for Sheila was not accustomed to being overlooked. Her life had been a series of calculated entrances and departures, each one leaving ripples that others felt long after she had sashayed away with the satisfaction of having asserted her dominion. Yet here she was, caught in the rare position of having been bypassed, a slight that demanded immediate contemplation of consequences, and as she sank into her velvet armchair, the golden hue of the sunset casting long shadows across the room, she rehearsed the words she would unleash, the subtle barb she would insert. the carefully orchestrated encounters she could engineer to remind everyone most, especially Hope, that Sheila was never to be underestimated. And as her mind raced through potential strategies, she could not help but recall the myriad interactions that had led to this precipice, the moments in which she had ingratiated herself with the family, the dinners, the whispered counsel, the delicate balance of charm and menace. All of it culminating in this bitter realization that her influence had been sidelined, that the joy of a wedding that should have seen her at the center instead would glow without her recognition, and this realization ignited a fire in Sheila that was equal parts fury and determination. For if she could not be present as a guest, she would ensure that her presence was felt in ways far more potent than mere attendance. And as she imagined the gathering at the grand estate, the flowing gowns, the cascading flowers, the laughter and clinking glasses, she could envision herself slipping into the shadows, watching, waiting, the wheels of her mind, spinning as rapidly as the thoughts of indignation and strategy collided. For she knew Hope would be radiant, the epitome of innocence and optimism. But Sheila also knew that perfection is always shadowed by imperfection, and she would be the one to find it, to exploit it, to weave it into a narrative where her exclusion would be known not as oversight, but as folly on the part of those who dared to underestimate her. And as she contemplated the possibilities, her mind drifted to the alliances she might form, the subtle insinuations she could make to the bridesmaids, to the wedding planner, to anyone who might unwittingly become an instrument of her intricate design. And though a part of her reveled in the outrage, another part, the part that had survived countless social skirmishes and emotional wars, relished the opportunity to transform this slight into a masterpiece of revenge and influence. And in that moment, Sheila's deep displeasure became a crucible, forging new schemes, new manipulations, all aimed at turning Hope's day of joy into a tableau where Sheila's power, her omnipresence, could not be ignored. And as she plotted, her fingers drummed lightly against the polished armrest, the sound echoing her racing heartbeat, each tap a countdown, a silent drumbeat to a plan that only she could fully see. And in her mind's eye, she pictured the exact moment she would make her subtle, unforgettable impact. Whether through whispered warnings, strategic interventions, or carefully placed reminders of her own past glories and sacrifices, the kind that would make anyone foolish enough to disregard her pause and reconsider. And though her emotions were a turbulent swirl of anger, wounded pride, and vindictive pleasure, Sheila could not deny the thrill that came with the challenge. The exquisite pleasure of knowing that she had been underestimated and now had the perfect canvas upon which to assert herself, to ensure that even if she was not on the guest list, her influence would permeate every corner of the event, every conversation, every glance, until the echo of her absence was felt as profoundly as her presence would have been. And as she envisioned the guests mingling, unaware of the silent storm brewing, Sheila's mind sharpened, analyzing each personality, each potential point of leverage. For in her experience, every social gathering, every wedding, every celebration was an opportunity to bend circumstances subtly to her will. And though Hope's happiness was ostensibly the center of attention, Sheila's determination transformed the event in her imagination into a battlefield of subtle power plays, intricate maneuvers, and emotional chess, where each smile and nod could be calibrated, each interaction measured for maximum effect. And in this elaborate mental rehearsal, Sheila's displeasure took on the dual role of fuel and compass, guiding her toward actions that would not merely register her presence, but would ensure her narrative dominated the event from behind the scenes, a shadow presence that none could deny. And as the hours passed, she developed contingencies for every conceivable scenario, from unexpected seating arrangements to moments of intimate conversations, all carefully calculated to infiltrate the carefully constructed veneer of familial bliss. For Sheila understood that the true art of influence lay not in overt displays, but in the subtle shifts, the imperceptible tremors that left others questioning their assumptions and ultimately their decisions. And so, in that apartment, awash in the amber glow of the fading sun, Sheila's mind whirred with possibilities, her displeasure alchemized into a precise, controlled force, a power that promised to transform what had initially seemed like exclusion into a spectacle of strategic brilliance, a reminder that while she might not be on the guest list, she would never, not truly, be left out of any equation that mattered. for Sheila, the architect of chaos and subtle domination, had already begun to map the contours of her presence in Hope's wedding, a presence that would ripple outward with consequences both foreseen and unforeseen. And in the process, she would assert, with quiet but undeniable authority, that Sheila's influence is never optional, never overlooked, and never to be underestimated.